Very well, thank you, Russell. Nice to see you.
Well, it's like 1 month, almost to the day that we spoke to you last. I think it was Friday 4 weeks ago.
Yep, that's
and
right.
That was the official launch. How's it been going?
Yeah, things are going great, thank you. We've reached 1,000 hits last week.
Yeah.
And over 600 of those are from the local area.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic because we really are trying to promote this here in the Garden Route. We're trying to improve the experience for people here.
Yeah, so is that more or less than you expected?
It's about right. I mean, I'm happy with how things are going. You know, what we really want to do is start with a nice sort of basis, get the word out, let people realize that there's a new service here in the region, in the Garden Route, in the Eden region, which will allow people to find second-hand goods much more easily than they did in the past.
I must say, I've had quite a lot of people come to me personally and say, you mentioned a site, can you give me, walking around, or people have SMS'd me, WhatsApped me and said, what were the details again? So, and even yesterday I had someone in the studio and I said, do you know what secondhand.co.co? And she went, it's that new secondhand classified site, isn't it? So I think there is some kind of traction growing here.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, just about, the site, it's interesting that people think of it as a new site. It is a new service, but it actually uses some of the existing sites. So that's something that could be a little complicated for some people to understand. But essentially what it is a search box, one search box for all the great classified sites that are out there at the moment. Yeah. So it's as simple as that. It unifies all of the second-hand stuff that's spread around the Garden Route at the moment that you normally have to put a lot of effort into finding, or you have to know all the different sites, or the different Facebook pages, which, by the way, there are a lot of people selling and buying via Facebook at the moment in the Garden Route, which is fine, but it's not really the best use of Facebook. Facebook is like a live feed.
Yeah.
So the issue with selling and buying on a live feed is that if you put something out there, if someone doesn't happen to see it at the time, they miss it. It gets hidden in older stories, and you have to go click, 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 and you can't search it.
Now, I found that you go in, I go, well, I'm not more than, I try and go in every second or third day and have a look and see what's on there. But you click Western Cape, and then there's another screen down the side of the page where you then you click Eden, and that's what then refines you down to the local area. Exactly.
It's actually defaulting to Eden at the moment. So, but what you can do is that on the left-hand side, there are a couple of sort of call-out boxes, like speech bubbles, which draw your attention to the left when you're searching, because the left-hand side is very powerful. You can click, just by using one click, you can change to just look at stuff, for instance, so that you're not looking at properties which might have a trampoline listed in them if you're looking for a trampoline, right? So, a few little clicks and you can have a very powerful search on your hands.
I must say I really like the stuff listing because that's where all the real gems lie. I mean, that's where I found the ostrich chicks.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I was actually just having a laugh today because I was going down the line of having a look at pets like you'd looked at. And I saw that someone who is a vegan is advertising a vegan house-sitting service. And apparently that makes her more pet-friendly. So if someone out there needs a vegan house-sitter, they're available via second-hand.co.za.
Well, we were speculating yesterday when you said that Angora bunny that was for sale for 300 Rand. We were saying, we wondered if that was for the pet or the pot. But you never know. But I guess if you've taken your vegan house-sitter, you're okay.
Exactly.
But now, I think you must get back into one of the reasons that you actually got into this. I mean, that you have got quite a strong philosophical underpinning about why you like this concept.
That's correct. I chose to spend my time on www.second-hand.co.za because of two underpinning reasons, really. The first one is that I wanted to help stimulate the vital move to conscious consumerism. Now, what I mean by that is this is a way of actually thinking about what you buy and where it came from. And, this is one of the ways that we can all help to stop the juggernaut of consumption, which is currently eating up our planet at an alarming rate. The second reason is that I wanted to really try and dramatically improve the experience for the rapidly growing community of conscious individuals in the Garden Route who are trying to save the planet's resources by actually thinking how they buy stuff and what they do with the stuff that they bought. So they're buying and selling it secondhand generally, not just rushing out to get a quick fix by buying the latest whatever thing that pops onto the market.
The mindless consumption.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's a vital move that the planet needs to make, because basically we're running out of resources on the planet. And if you start to look at the facts, it's actually pretty scary. For instance, in America, 99% of the produced goods are trashed within 6 months. 99%. So only 1% of things that are bought in America are actually still in use 6 months after they bought.
Now, what happens to them?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, this is what people often don't think about. They end up in landfills with heavy metal seeping into the earth and ruining it, for active production of food crops.
So there's not much recycling of that consumed stuff going on?
Not enough. There's not enough, because it's being produced at such a rate. I mean, the trash it's just consuming the planet. As a matter of fact, if we all consumed at the rate that Americans do, we'd need 5 planets right now.
Sure. That's quite a figure.
Yeah.
But, I mean, surely there must be economic value in that stuff that's being thrown away at the moment, or is it not?
Absolutely, there is. But unfortunately, sometimes there also has to be a fairly significant investment before that value can be
and political
extracted.
will, I suppose.
Political will, definitely. I mean, these are often local issues, municipal issues, even down to can cause problems here. If you don't have a bin to go and put your phone in, then it's probably not going to get recycled. Fortunately, there's an extremely lively second-hand market here in South Africa. What you consider to be junk is definitely not junk to someone else, so you should really think about, going on and listing it on www.second-hand.coza. You're doing the right thing. You're not only going to probably make some pocket money, you're actually going to probably give a product which can really still have another life with someone else on,
Yeah.
And thus you're not just being mindless. You're not leaving the stuff lying in your storeroom, where it could actually be in productive use.
So you reckon we are running, if we consume at this rate, we would be running out of resources and things like that?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, we have already consumed, in the last 300 years, we've consumed 2/3 of the planet's natural resources. In the last 300 years, 2/3 of the planet's natural resources. So there's a crisis coming.
And that would be non-renewable resource.
Yeah.
That would be extractive
Exactly,
industry.
exactly, yeah. So there's a crisis coming, and we can all help prevent it by getting involved in, doing the right thing, thinking about where stuff comes from, and realizing that it's actually a con. That this whole consumerism thing is a con. It was engineered. As a matter of fact, when it was first engineered, was kind of after the Second World War. It was in the 50s. And at the time, there were industrial designers and engineers who were quite blatantly talking about what they were doing. And what they were doing was they're moving to something called planned obsolescence. Now, obviously, some big words there, but what that's all about is actually designing something for the trash, right? They started designing products that would basically break.
It was a General Motors concept.
Yeah.
Came out of Alfred Sloan, the then chairman or MD of the car company.
Yep.
Said that's what they must design.
Yeah, exactly. And it became a massive trend, which is basically, there were some excuses for it, that they needed to stimulate the economy, etc. But at the end of the day, all it was about was trying to improve profit margins, right? And it's a huge con. I mean, there's actually two things. There's planned obsolescence and there's perceived obsolescence. Now, the perceived obsolescence is a very clever one. What that's all about is constantly changing products so that if you're sitting there with like an old computer monitor on your desk and it looks like one of those old TVs,
like
thick
this
and chunky, like the one on your left, and then on the right you have the thin screen monitor. Now, if you happen to be sitting there with your old chunky one and your colleague walks in with the thin one, you go, oh, how embarrassing, I'm using the old monitor, and this is planned obsolescence, and it's clever.
I've always wondered about the growth in golf club heads.
Yeah.
Actually, the big
Absolutely.
Bertha, the bigger Bertha, and then the other Bertha.
The mother of all.
The mother of all Berthas.
Yeah, well, this is it. jeans, skinny jeans, wide jeans, high heels, going from thick to fat to stiletto and thick again. It all just drives this mindless consumerism. It's planned. It's clever.
And the fact that the denim in Mr. Price is exactly the same denim that's in the diesel jeans
Absolutely.
at 3,000 Rand a pair as opposed to 150.
Yeah. But I mean, these two things were very cleverly planned to force people to consume. And actually, there's an incredibly interesting video about this, which was made by someone in the States, a lady who did 10 years of research into where stuff comes from and goes to. And that's where I've pulled some of my facts from. I've put the video up on our Facebook page. So if anyone wants to have a look, you don't have to, even be on, you don't have to join the page, but it would be great if you did, because I put a lot of info on there about buying and selling secondhand and how to do it safely and, how to buy camera lenses, etc., whatever. I keep on adding stuff there, especially if people are interested. So the page is basically facebook.com/www.second.hand.co.za. So it's like the website, which is www.second-hand.co.za, but this one is second.hand.co.za on Facebook. Yeah. Basically because Facebook won't allow the dash. But there's plenty of information on there for people who want to, get more into buying and selling secondhand, and we'll answer any questions, etc. So check it out.
One of the keys for me, when I've been onto the site and had a look, and I've had quite extensive looks to see it, is that it's quite dynamic. I mean, the content is changing.
Yep.
If not things maybe not disappearing quite so fast, but there's always new stuff. And that actually makes it quite interesting, because some of the things that are offered are like that pipe organ, or what is it, the pedal organ I mean, I think that's fantastic. That stuff is out there.
Absolutely.
And, from an era when consumerism wasn't such an issue.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, that's the thing, is people used to actually do the right thing. This has all just been driven by big business greed,
Yep.
Before, in the 50s, etc., people used to carry their own Hessian bag to the shop. They used to get their milk in glass containers,
From the farmer on his donkey.
Exactly, from the local area, rather than having it shipped across the country. And, these are the things that we can actually consciously move back towards as a population, In the garden route, there are a lot of people with really good mindsets and lots of conscious individuals. Let's all start thinking about where our stuff comes from and trying to get into reusing and recycling. These are things which we can do.
So put the stuff that you don't need, put it on the website. Something may happen. You might turn it into some pocket money. You might turn something into real money.
Absolutely.
And, if it's in a cupboard and not being used, have a good think about what it's actually doing there.
Yeah.
Now, the SMS service, is that being used, the 43166?
It is, yes, it is. It could be used more, and I think maybe there's just some, maybe people don't quite yet realize what the power of that is. Essentially what it does is it saves you from having to have to do any work. So if you want to buy or sell something, you just write a little text message and, send it, and then we do all the work for you. Our administrators sit there and they search the web for whatever you're looking for, and then they'll send an SMS back once they find it, and it's that simple. If you say, I'm looking for a car for 20,000 Rand in Plet, then we will look and we'll send you back, whatever is going at the moment. So we'll probably send you an SMS with 3 or 4 cars listed for that price and the telephone numbers of the people selling them.
There's quite a quick return of the information.
Yeah, depending on how obscure the thing is that you're looking for or how complicated it is to do the search, we get back as quickly as we can. And it normally is pretty fast. Then that's it. You're basically outsourcing all the effort. You don't have to have a computer. You don't have to have internet. And even if you do, you can still use it. You just SMS 43166 and you write buy if you're trying to buy, and then the details like a Ford Cortina 2-liter Plettenberg Bay, just put the details there so we know what to look for. Otherwise, we've got to come back to you and say which area you're looking in, etc. Right?
So okay.
It's that simple. And if you're selling, same thing. 43166 is the number, and you type sell as your first word, and then a space, and then whatever you're selling, you know.
So it's as easy as that.
Yeah, that's
so guys,
it. We do the rest.
Get to your cupboards, get to your garages, get to the kitchen cupboards. I'm sure there's a mixer minster shredded liquidizer that you were given on your wedding day that you've never ever used.
Juicer.
Yeah, there you go. Well, thanks very much to Ray for coming in to chat to us. And